I've been covering crime stories on this channel for years. Cases that shocked families, shook neighborhoods, and left scars that still run deep. But what I'm about to share with you today goes beyond anything we've covered before. Most people only know the stories that made headlines, but beneath those headlines lies an iceberg of disturbing cases in the African American community that many have never seen or heard about. In this video, I'll break that iceberg down piece by piece, starting from the peak with the cases everyone remembers and diving all the way down to the darkest, most unsettling stories buried at the bottom. Let's begin with the story of this innocent woman.
In this video, 27-year-old Rannita Williams, a mother of 3, is being forced to apologize on Facebook Live.
Pull up right now. Pull up.
Okay.
Pull up.
No, it was just, I apologize. Yes, I know I was wrong. I ain't have no business going off like that, but
What?
I am sorry, y'all. Yes.
What?
No,
The man you see behind her holding a gun
Yes,
is her
that's her.
ex-boyfriend, 37-year-old Jonathan Robinson.
Yes, that's her. Let me see the phone, son.
No. Bitch wanna be famous, I'm gonna make her famous.
No.
Wanna be famous, I'm gonna make you famous. I do.
Yes.
I'm telling you I get on these bitches never.
No.
Just minutes after the apology, the police would receive the harrowing 911 call that would lead them to 1301 Natalie Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. There, they would be met with the lifeless body of an innocent mother who had just been executed. This is a deeply disturbing story of 27-year-old Rannita Williams, a mother of 3. In this story, we will uncover 3 or more red flags that led to this tragic event.
Women are the winners.
I ain't gonna say all men women. I'm gonna say me and my niggas winning though. The niggas
Okay.
I
Okay.
fuck
Well,
with,
10 dudes winning. Okay.
like a motherfucker.
Let them tell it.
Yeah, we winning.
Yeah, let
We
y'all
don't,
tell
we
it.
don't know how to lose. We don't even take losses good at nothing. I mean at nothing.
But anyway, y'all know what it here for, women. We already know what it here for.
What?
Okay. No, what?
Exactly.
To be
nothing.
on stage.
Nothing.
To be on top.
Exactly. Nothing.
To be on top.
Fuck with a nigga out of 10 too.
Rannita Williams, affectionately referred to as Nunu by her loved ones, was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, a community known for the high rates of crime and poverty. She was a devoted mother of 3 children from a previous relationship that didn't flourish. But despite the challenges of being a single parent, she was able to ensure that her children were provided with everything that they needed. She always puts them first. Her love for them was unwavering, and the people who are close to her have always admired the way she was able to balance motherhood with her personal ambition. Beyond being a loving mother, Rannita was able to establish a thriving career as an interior designer, to which she did a great job. Through her hard work and determination, she became known in her community with her ability to transform houses into beautiful homes, something that she frequently shares on her social media, especially on Facebook. Added to her personality, she started to have a growing audience online who admired her work. But then, everything changed. Rannita's life was full of potential, filled with love for her children and passion for her work, but she will meet a man, forming a relationship that would soon cast a shadow over everything Rannita built. This relationship was with this guy, a 37-year-old man named Jonathan Robinson, who, like Rannita, was from Shreveport, Louisiana. But unbeknownst to Rannita, meeting Jonathan would be the start of the series of events that would eventually lead to her tragic end.
Who was side bitch?
Oh shit, I don't know. Tell them who the side bitch is.
No, but
Okay.
you ain't now.
Tell them, baby.
You not the side bitch. Why that?
Shit, I don't know who the side bitch is, right? I'm trying to see where she at. I'm the side bitch. Oh.
At first, Jonathan seemed like the kind of man who would be perfect for a single mother like Rannita. He was protective, caring, and involved. But appearances can be deceiving, and it wouldn't take long until his true nature would reveal itself in the worst way imaginable. Jonathan was a man with a deeply troubled past. It was one that was defined by violence, crime, destruction. Being someone who was born in Shreveport, Jonathan was exposed to the harsh realities of living in one of the most dangerous parts of the community. This is where he differed from Rannita. From a very early age, he always had frequent run-ins with the law, eventually piling up a long list of criminal records that was hallmarked by the violent offenses and drug-related charges. In a span of nearly 2 decades, his crime history bulged with multiple arrests for domestic violence, aggravated assault, and even attempted murder. Throughout his existence, he spent the years in and out of prison, and no matter how many times he was imprisoned, he would always find his way back to his violent nature. However dark Jonathan's history is, Rannita welcomed him into her life with open arms, which was a mistake that will haunt Rannita in the coming years. But at that point in time, for her, second chances should be given to people, and so she did. Jonathan stepped into her life more than a romantic partner, so throughout the beginning, Jonathan served as a father figure to Rannita's children. He became part of their life. He attended school meetings, played the role of a protector, and made himself a steady presence in their home, which was something that Rannita's previous husband couldn't give. But there is another problem that Rannita didn't anticipate. Another part of Jonathan's past that will steer their supposed loving relationship to an eventual pitfall. Now, do you remember this video I played in the beginning where Sharika is apologizing before she got shot dead? This is how it started. Jonathan had another woman. Rannita wasn't the only woman in his life. As it turns out, she was stuck in a love triangle, and years before she came into his life, Jonathan has long been involved with another woman, and that would be the woman that will trigger the series of tragedies that will fall on Rannita. It is at this point that I want to introduce Sharika Taylor from. In the world of Jonathan, Sharika was deeply implanted. It isn't clear if Rannita knew about Sharika from the very beginning, but at some point during the timeline of their relationship, both women found out about the existence of each other. And in some way, Rannita and Sharika tolerated the arrangement they had. And so their twisted love triangle began. Rannita became the side chick of the relationship, while Sharika became the main chick. But it wasn't long until the tension began to arise, marking the start of the horrors that would soon unfold.
Who was side bitch?
Oh shit, I don't know. Tell him who the side bitch is.
No, man.
Okay.
You ain't now.
Tell him, baby.
You not the side bitch. Why that?
Shit, I don't know who the side bitch is, right? I'm trying to see where she at. I'm the side bitch?
No.
Oh.
As the rivalry between the two women grew, so did the hostility that they felt against each other, and these hostilities were often expressed in social media. Sharika would constantly call Rannita out in public posts with accusations that made the already unstable situation worse. By the end of 2017, Rannita had finally had enough. She finally realized that she should be with someone who would put her first. It was at that point when she finally decided to go on Facebook declaring that she was done with Jonathan and wanted to move on with her life. She thought leaving Jonathan would be the end of the nightmare. She thought moving on would bring peace. But little did she know, it was only the beginning of something far worse. And so, unknowing of the impending rage that was building up inside Jonathan, Rannita focused on her children, her business, and herself, determined to leave the toxicity behind. But despite her efforts, Jonathan wouldn't let go so easily. He continued reaching out, pleading for another chance, a chance that Rannita once again gave. But it wasn't long until they ended their relationship once again, and then, this is when the story will steer to a dark turn. It was the beginning of 2018 when the heated arguments between Sharika and Rannita would start on social media. During this time, according to Rannita, Jonathan was still trying to get her to take him back. No matter how hard he tried, however, Rannita stood firm on her decision to finally leave the toxic and twisted arrangement she had with Jonathan. She was moving on while starting a new romantic connection with another man. But this action pushed Jonathan to the edge. Meanwhile, from the perspective of Sharika, the main chick, it was Rannita who was trying to snatch his man. Feeling betrayed by the continued interest of Jonathan to the mother who honestly wants to be set free from them, Sharika quoted on Facebook, "Stop trying to ruin someone else's happiness by dealing with a taken man, cause you might just end up being miserable." In response, Rannita posted, "Don't play with me, promise you. You ain't gone like the way I play back." This was the post that would set off the unfortunate chain of events leading up to the crime. Somewhere in April of 2018, Rannita went live on Facebook, expressing her response to the accusations coming from Sharika that she was trying to get back with Jonathan, added with slanders and language that could be understood as nothing but an expression of resentment. To clarify everything, Rannita explained that it was the other way around. So on the morning of April 12, 2018, Jonathan Robinson drove all the way from Houston, Texas to where Rannita was residing in Shreveport, Louisiana. And this time he came with nothing but rage, a gun, and a sinister intent that would be hinting at the horrifying events that would be unfolding in the next hours. It wasn't long until Jonathan arrived at the home of Anita Williams, the mother of Rannita. As soon as he arrived, the atmosphere of that fateful day quickly shifted to a dark and hostile tone, reflecting the distorted intentions in Jonathan's head.
Pull up right now. Pull up.
Okay.
Pull up.
Forcing his way inside the home, he demanded an apology from Rannita, an apology for the social media posts and live streams that struck his ego and humiliated him and his girlfriend Sharika. And when Rannita refused to give him what he wanted, the hostile situation that was, of that morning, escalated to something that would mark a devastating turn of events. Jonathan walked out of the house, and moments later, he returned with a gun. And just like that, the home became a hostage scene, holding Rannita, her mother, and her brother at gunpoint. At some point during this time, Anita saw an opportunity to make a desperate attempt to escape the hands of the man who held their life. But before she could manage to get to safety, Jonathan opened fire. Her brother managed to flee, barely escaping the same fate. Rannita had no choice but to do what Jonathan demanded. At that point, her Facebook account was temporarily blocked, so she used her brother's account to go live and apologize.
Yes, I know I was wrong. I ain't have no business going off like that, but...
In the video, you can see Jonathan standing behind Rannita, holding a gun.
See right there. Everybody want to be famous. I'm gonna make you famous.
Yes.
What?
I am sorry, y'all. Yes.
But while Rannita was on Facebook Live, about to say her apology, her mother, Anita, managed to escape to a neighbor's house and made a 911 call to the Shreveport police.
Can you send the police to 1301 Natalie? 1301 Natalie. Because they shoot Jonathan Robinson.
Okay, Jonathan.
1301 Natalie Street.
Okay, is he shooting now?
Yeah, he's shooting now, ma'am.
Okay.
All
Can you
right.
tell me what he's wearing? Hold on. Can you tell me what he's wearing? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what...
Ma'am, I can't tell what he got on.
Okay, yeah. Can you see him right now? Officers need to know when they pull up who he is.
He's in a car.
Okay, what kind of...
He's in a little brown car. The car's still in the driveway.
Okay, who is he shooting at?
He's shooting at my daughter.
Okay. Okay, is everybody safe inside of the residence?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
My daughter in there.
where's your daughter at?
She in there now.
Okay, and what's your name, ma'am?
Anita Williams.
Okay, I'm going to keep you on the phone if you can until officers get there so you can make sure you guys are okay.
Okay.
Okay, and where is he at now? Do you know?
He in the house still. He's still in the house, ma'am.
Okay, he's in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and where are you?
I'm outside at somebody's house. All right.
Okay, no, stay on the phone with me.
Tell them, please, ma'am, to hurry up.
They're on the way. While we're talking, they're on the way, okay? Are they into some type of dispute or something?
Yes, ma'am. He has the gun. He in there now.
Okay, and you don't know what color shirt he's wearing or nothing like that?
He got on burgundy shirt, but the car's still in the yard, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine, but like I said, you can stay on the phone with me.
Okay, it's 1301 Nelly. He's in the house with the gun.
They're already on the way. Is your daughter in the house, too?
Yes, she's in there with my son.
Okay, and your son, how old is your son?
He's 30.
30, okay.
Meanwhile, all of Jonathan's attention focused on Rannita, with the intent of avenging her wife and making Rannita apologize for everybody to see.
Pull up right now. Pull up.
Okay.
Pull up. Pull up. Huh? You think I'm worried about the police right now?
No.
Just tell you, I don't give a fuck about no fucking police, you heard?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, pull up right now. Pull up.
Okay.
Pull up. Pull up.
Uh-huh. No, it was just, I apologize because I couldn't go live on my phone. My page is blocked.
Bitch wanna be famous, I'm gonna make her famous.
No.
Wanna be famous, I'm gonna make you famous.
No.
No. Everybody wanna be famous, let's be famous today.
Okay.
Rannita, visibly terrified, tried to oblige in hopes that doing so might save her life. But Jonathan had already made up his mind. And then, without hesitation, he pulled the trigger.
No.
Go.
Stop, Jonathan! Stop, Jonathan!
Rannita Williams was murdered in cold blood, her final breath stolen by the man who once claimed to love her. But the horrors of that day didn't end there, because Jonathan wasn't finished. It wasn't long until the police arrived at the crime scene, but instead of surrendering, Jonathan unleashed his fury on them.
What you're about to see now for the first time are the heart-pounding moments when Shreveport police put their own lives on the line in a desperate attempt to save Rannita. Seconds after she radios in,
dispatch, be advised, I heard multiple shots inside that house when I rolled up.
with other units racing to respond,
Dispatch 170. 1301 Natalie.
Out of the way.
Shots fired.
451 is code 2 to that officer on Natalie.
Robinson takes aim.
I got gunfire coming. Why are you firing at me?
First, pinning down Officer Mackey.
We're trying to get to you.
I'll get the strength.
Hold what you got. We're coming to you. 170 home.
Then redirecting his gun sight.
You not come up this road, you will be in his sight. I'm on foot. I'm on his one foot. Have you not had eyes on him anymore? I can.
Targeting police who are running in to back Mackey up.
No! 114 to dispatch. We have shots fired out here. Everybody hold their position. Hold your position.
These are the first shots fired
Dispatch, I'll be around to the scene with the drone coming.
in a sometimes confusing
Dispatch, what's the street to the south of us?
Maybe State Street.
Simple, we need you to direct units to the south of us, please.
chaotic.
Can anybody give us where the shots are coming from?
They're coming from inside that residence. 1301 Natalie.
80-minute standoff
I need someone to key up and tell me that they are getting on magazine with the binoculars or something that can see down from the north, looking south at this house. We're working on getting SRT to you guys. Bear with us for a minute. We're aging out there.
What followed was an intense 80-minute standoff between Jonathan and the SWAT. SWAT teams and negotiators surrounded the house, prepared for a deadly shootout. But Jonathan wasn't ready to go down just yet. He continued to fire at law enforcement, fully consumed by the rage that reigned in his mind. Meanwhile, the police, hoping to de-escalate the situation, brought Sharika Taylor, the main chick, to calm Jonathan down. It was only then when the rage and outbursts of Jonathan died down. Whether out of love, fear, or desperation, Sharika convinced Jonathan to put down his weapon, and just like that, Jonathan Robinson surrendered. Handcuffed and taken into custody, his reign of terror had finally come to an end. Following the tragic encounter with Jonathan, the investigators took him into custody, and what they would uncover next would leave even the most hardened detectives shaken. Because what Jonathan admitted in the interrogation room was something far more chilling than anyone had expected.
Wait a minute. She was apologizing, and the police came.
In the interrogation of Jonathan that happened right after the murder, he admitted to planning the entire tragedy in a callous recount of the events that transpired leading to that morning, providing the investigators a first-hand account of his heinous act. He detailed that he had decided to tragically end Rannita's life as soon as he woke up on the morning of April 12.
Then I shot him in the leg. I shot him in the leg. Then I shot him again somewhere else.
Added to that, he said he wanted to have a shootout with the police that day because he wanted to die right then and there. And with those plans, he went to his aunt's house to get the gun he used at the murder and then bought 40 bullets earlier that day. But what made his confession even more chilling was the mix of remorse and certainty in what he wanted to happen. And there it was. Jonathan Robinson awaited the consequences of his reckless crime, sealing his fate. After the interrogation and his confession, Jonathan was charged with first-degree murder. And in the state of Louisiana, the penalty for such a heinous crime could be the sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole, ensuring that the perpetrator would not be able to lay his hands on anyone ever again. But in the case of Jonathan, with the gravity of his crime, he faced the death penalty. However, something changed the course of his fate. On July 24, 2019, Jonathan pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and several related accounts of attempted first-degree murder, which spared him from execution, in exchange for a life sentence without the possibility of parole. During the court proceedings, Jonathan showed moments of remorse, at one time pointing directly to Rannita Williams to express his regret. But despite all his attempts to justify the horrifying deed he committed, he would never be able to reduce the pain he left Rannita's family. And right then and there, his fate was sealed, and he would spend the rest of his life behind bars. The news of the tragic end of Rannita Williams shocked everyone in the community of Shreveport.
Others grew increasingly impatient as they waited for the scene to clear to check on loved ones nearby. Luckily, no bystanders were injured in the ordeal.
Rannita, despite being injured during the incident, was left with an even more excruciating grief of losing her daughter. She expressed her profound grief and anger, questioning how someone she once trusted could commit such a crime.
Didn't know it was gonna happen. Just never shared it with nobody because I knew what I wanted in my heart and what I believe in. I didn't believe in killing nobody. I never believed in killing nobody. Not just him, nobody. Not even an enemy. So why? No, I'm glad justice has been served. Everything is gone. Everything is okay. So I feel a lot better now. Now I can rest. Now me and my family can go on with our life, you know. It's over with, it's no more, so it's nothing else to talk. The decision has been made between us and everybody else, so we feel a lot better. It hurts me so bad. By killing Jonathan, it's not gonna bring Rannita back, none whatsoever, so decision has been made, and that's what it is.
The community rallied around the family, holding vigils and memorials in tribute to the life that Rannita lived. Finally, on April 21, 2018, Rannita was finally laid to rest at the Princeton Bossier Parish, Louisiana.
The family needs your strength. There's strength in praise. That's it. Release your praise. Release it. Release it. The devil is a liar. Release it. God is good. Release it. God is good. God is still. He's still good. Hallelujah to the Lamb of God. Praise God. Hallelujah. You may be seated. We're here to celebrate and to pray. And I'm grateful to God for this opportunity because God knew.
I want every female to know that domestic violence should not be tolerated in any shape, form, or fashion. And she also wants y'all to know that it's just not.
Finally realize I'm all that I need.
In Toledo, Ohio, at around 5 a.m., a 16-year-old boy called 911 for help from the 5300 block of Norton Place. His mother had been shot dead. The mother, 34-year-old Tamisha, was 8 months pregnant with a baby girl she had already named Malaysia Leonie Price. Tamisha was in a relationship with a man who was supposed to be the father of her unborn child, but unexpectedly, he never wanted the baby. He repeatedly asked Tamisha to terminate the pregnancy, but she refused every time. Tragically, her life was taken not only by the man she loved, but through the shocking and coordinated actions of him and his friends, leading to an unimaginable loss. This is the heartbreaking story of Tamisha Price and her unborn daughter.
And I just fell in love with a gangster, so I hold him down like an anchor. He said if I keep it 100, that he keep me safe like a banker.
Tamisha Jaikera Price, lovingly called Misha, was born on May 22, 1989 in Toledo, Ohio. Her parents, Tyler and Stacy Price, raised her in a close-knit, encouraging family. Misha was the youngest of 4 children and the only daughter, giving her a special role in the family. Growing up, she enjoyed family activities, which strengthened her bond with her 3 older brothers. She studied at Rogers High School, a local public school, and later attended Apostolic Christian Academy, a private faith-based school. Her passion for helping people led her to study healthcare at Herzing University. She chose courses in nursing and patient care, aiming to support those in need. Beyond academics, she volunteered at local clinics. However, her interests didn't stop there. She also loved creative hobbies, like painting and writing, which balanced her busy medical studies. Her journey shows her dedication to both caregiving and personal growth. Tamisha entered a meaningful relationship in her early 20s, full of hope for a promising future. As their connection grew stronger, the relationship brought both happiness and obstacles. Over time, they welcomed 2 sons, Jaden Kishon and Leslie Michael, who became the heart of Tamisha's life. Leslie had a passion for basketball, while Jaden discovered his gift for drumming. Jaden's talent was undeniable, and his father saw it as an opportunity to nurture his skills, helping him reach his full potential. Through their frequent music sessions together, they honed Jaden's drumming skills, strengthening their bond along the way. With their father providing unwavering support and keeping the children engaged, Tamisha saw an opportunity to focus on her own ambitions. As the kids grew older, she decided to chase ventures that many could only dream of. She decided to take her love for fashion, shopping, and traveling to the next level. But rather than just indulging in it for herself, she found a way to turn it into something more. She showcased her style across multiple platforms, effortlessly blending humor into her videos, which only highlighted her chill and fun-loving nature. For a while, it seemed like Tamisha had it all. But then, just when everything was falling into place, her perfect life came to a sudden, unexpected halt. The relationship with the father of her 2 sons began to spiral downwards, leaving her with no choice but to get her kids out of the unhealthy environment and leave. As she started building a new life for herself and her sons, opportunities began unfolding in unexpected ways, proving that resilience and faith could turn struggles into stepping stones. Meanwhile, her passion for fashion, travel, and content creation blossomed into more than just hobbies. They became her escape, her source of strength, and eventually, her path to success. So, after her breakup, she worked long hours to ensure Jaden and Leslie had everything they needed. Yet, despite all the progress she was making, the path ahead still seemed uncertain. But as she grew stronger in her independence, something unexpected happened that would change her journey once again. During this period of transformation and growth, Tamisha crossed paths with a man named Paris James. Now, Paris's past was marred with mostly police disturbances, yet despite that, their relationship blossomed through shared values and mutual respect. Tamisha didn't allow his past to come between them, choosing instead to focus on the present and the potential of their future together. Paris, in turn, admired Tamisha's strength as a mother and the passion she poured into her community. Her resilience and dedication were qualities he held in high regard. As their bond deepened, hope slowly returned to Tamisha's life in a way she hadn't expected. Their relationship grew stronger until late 2023, when Tamisha found out she was pregnant with their daughter. She was excited to welcome a baby who she had already named Malaysia Leonie Price, her third child. For Tamisha, this pregnancy was a blessing and a sign of a stronger bond with Paris. But just as she embraced this new chapter, unexpected challenges started to appear, and soon after, her world began to unravel. Paris wasn't prepared for fatherhood, and he made that clear to Tamisha in a hurtful and degrading way for all the months they were together. In fact, he accused her of cheating and even questioned whether he was the father of the baby. This accusation was especially hurtful, given that Tamisha had always been honest with him, making it clear that Paris was the only man in her life. But as painful as his words were, they were nothing compared to the shock that was yet to come, leaving Tamisha feeling betrayed and heartbroken. But regardless of the accusation, Tamisha stayed excited about her baby, because this would be her first baby girl, the first two children being boys. So she refused to let his words bring her down. With the support of her friends, she decided to hold a baby shower a month before her due date. She wanted to make it a special celebration for her daughter. Some people might have wondered why she was doing it so early, especially since it wasn't her first child. But Tamisha didn't let that stop her. However, what she didn't know was that Paris wasn't happy about it, and his frustration was about to show. As the day of the baby shower approached, Tamisha noticed the growing distance between her and Paris. Their once strong bond was quickly fading, and Paris became increasingly angry, often for no clear reason. While Tamisha focused on making the baby shower a memorable occasion, Paris had something far more sinister in mind, planning something that would soon shatter their lives forever. So, on January 24, 2024, at approximately 5 a.m., police received a distress call from one of Tamisha's children, who reported that their mother had just been shot. When officers arrived at the scene, they found 34-year-old Tamisha Price lying unresponsive in her bedroom, having suffered multiple gunshot wounds. The situation was devastating, and the immediate focus was on uncovering what led to such a tragic act. Emergency responders following behind rushed to the scene in an attempt to save Tamisha, but despite their best efforts, she was tragically pronounced dead at the scene. All they could do was take her body away. Meanwhile, the neighbors, particularly those who knew Tamisha, began to gather, shocked and grieving over the sudden loss. But as heartbreaking as her death was, it wasn't even the most shocking event that day. Something even more devastating was about to come to light. The most shocking part was that Tamisha's sons, Jaden and Leslie, saw everything happen. They watched their mom get shot before running to hide. Later, they were able to tell the police what happened, which helped the investigation a lot. The Lucas County Coroner's Office said Price died of multiple gunshot wounds, ruling her death a homicide. They said a separate death certificate would be issued for her unborn baby girl, Malaysia Leonie Price. The baby's death was determined to be a result of complications of maternal gunshot wounds. And also, Toledo police counted the unborn baby's death as a homicide as well. The Toledo Police Department quickly started their investigation, working hard to find out why this happened. Eyewitnesses and evidence from the scene helped them understand what led to Tamisha's death. Soon, they identified 3 suspects: Paris James, Jerry Scott, and Shatwia Triplet. All 3 were questioned by the police to find out the real reason behind Tamisha's death. And that's when the shocking truth came to light. Paris told the police that he was doubting the baby Tamisha was carrying was actually his. He asked her to get an abortion, but she refused several times, even going ahead to hold a baby shower for her unborn child. Police affidavits show that Paris had planned the killing, supported by video footage, witnesses, and other evidence. The charges against Jerry Scott suggest that he took part in planning and carrying out the actions that led to Tamisha's tragic death. But how was this planned and executed? Now, this is alleged, and I will tell you why later. So, while Tamisha was busy planning her baby shower with friends and family, Paris was secretly planning her death. He found accomplices and set up alibis for himself, ensuring that everything looked normal from the outside. They allowed Tamisha to hold her baby shower, and just 1 week later, they set their deadly plan into motion. Paris had a friend named Jerry Scott, this guy, and Paris's live-in girlfriend named Rayisha Triplet, this is her mugshot, all came together under leadership of Paris to plot Tamisha's death. However, the plan was not only carried out, but it also unfolded in the most bizarre and shocking way imaginable. On that fateful morning, Paris and Jerry allegedly arrived at Tamisha's home just before dawn. They had planned to confront her about their relationship issues, but it went beyond a simple argument. Armed with handguns, they had discussed their intentions to intimidate her into submission. Their goal wasn't just to dominate the situation, but also to send a powerful message that she couldn't just walk away from them so easily. So Paris knocked on the door, and when Tamisha opened it, a heated argument quickly broke out over the pregnancy. Paris accused her of betraying him and threatened to hurt her if she didn't do what he wanted. The argument grew louder, and Jerry joined in, using aggressive words that only made things worse. Feeling trapped and scared, Tamisha tried to get away by retreating to the bedroom. In a fit of rage, Paris allegedly pulled out his gun and fired several shots at Tamisha as she tried to escape. Her children, who had been witnessing the argument, ran and hid when the gunfire erupted. Jerry, staying in the living room, acted as an accomplice, making sure no one could stop Paris during the attack. Paris, believing that Tamisha, his pregnant girlfriend, wouldn't survive, fled the scene with Jerry. Then, after a short while of silence, the boys returned to discover their mother dead, and that is when they called 911 seeking immediate help. The gunfire echoed through the quiet neighborhood, causing nearby neighbors to rush to the source of the sound. They also found Tamisha struggling to breathe, and it's at the same time police arrived. Paris James, Tamisha's boyfriend, was charged with aggravated murder, while Jerry Scott, his accomplice, also faced similar charges. Rayisha Triplet, James's live-in girlfriend, was charged with obstructing justice after investigators uncovered that she had provided a false alibi for James, which was later proven to be untrue. As a result of their involvement, Paris James and Jerry Scott were indicted on 5 counts of aggravated murder, 4 counts of murder, 1 count of aggravated burglary, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of tampering with evidence.
Now, 3 suspects have been indicted in the fatal shooting of a pregnant woman. They are accused in the January killing of 34-year-old Tamisha Price. Take a look. According to court documents, a grand jury indicted Paris James and Jerry Scott on several counts of aggravated murder and felonious assault, among other charges. Rayisha Triplet was also indicted on 2 third-degree felony counts of obstructing justice. All 3 suspects are accused of involvement in the homicide of Price, whose unborn child was also killed in the shooting. According to court documents, detectives say Scott did participate in the planning and execution of the plan that resulted in Price's death. Those documents also indicate that Triplet, who detectives said is James's live-in girlfriend, provided an alibi for James that was later proven to be false.
A GoFundMe page was set up by Matthew Pally, who wrote, "We have set up this account to help with immediate and future expenses as her children adjust to life without her. There is a long road ahead for them, and we believe any monetary contribution, no matter how big or small, will provide much-needed support for them in the coming days, weeks, and months." Tamisha's funeral service took place on February 3rd, 2024, at the House of Day in Toledo, Ohio. People from various cities came together to honor her memory, attending a heartfelt church service that lasted over an hour. During the service, multiple people shared their final words about Tamisha, expressing their love, admiration, and the impact she had on their lives.
At this time, just say a few words about my daughter. First, I want to give God honor and praise, because that's the only way I'm able to stand here and talk to you right now and look at you. This young baby here was my heart. I told my wife when I married her, well, after Michigan, I got 3 women. You, my mama, and that girl right there. She's like, oh, what you talking about? I said, hey, these 3 women, I gotta take care of them. But I don't want to make it about me, that's why I didn't want to talk. But Tamisha was wonderful, beautiful soul. She wasn't an arrogant person. She wasn't, bougie, all that stuff. She liked nice things. She did nice things. She worked hard. She worked hard for her boys and for them to have nice things. I know a lot of young folks realize that all the stuff you wear, these fancy shoes and clothes and name brand stuff that...
Leaders and advocates seized the moment to call for stronger support systems for victims, highlighting the need for change. Her friends and supporters came together to organize events focused on raising awareness about domestic violence, while also supporting local charities dedicated to helping women in similar situations. Tamisha's family stayed strong in their fight for justice. In January 2025, the trial for two men accused of shooting and killing Tamisha was set to begin, but they requested to delay. Although the prosecutors claimed that the two men, Paris James and Jerry Scott, carefully planned and carried out the murder of Tamisha Price, new evidence has recently surfaced. Now, this is why I said the story above is alleged. According to court documents filed last in January 2025, BCI testing revealed the presence of another male's DNA on the murder weapon.
This week, the trial for two men accused of shooting and killing a pregnant woman is set to start, but now they want a delay. Prosecutors allege the pair planned and carried out the murder of Tamisha Price, who was 9 months pregnant. But now new evidence has come to light.
The newly discovered evidence indicates that there's a third person's DNA on the weapon. The attorneys for Paris James and Jerry Scott filed a motion saying they need to investigate the new evidence turned over to them by the prosecutor. According to these court documents filed this month, a piece of evidence in the case tested by BCI found another male's DNA on the murder weapon. It led prosecutors to investigate this person. James and Scott are accused of aggravated murder in the of Tamisha Price. They're accused of planning and executing the plan that resulted in the 34-year-old woman's death. Price was 9 months pregnant with James's child. Neither Price nor the baby girl she was carrying survived. The deadly shooting happened inside the woman's home last year. There is a third person charged in this case, Shatwaya Triplett. She's charged with obstructing justice. Her attorney says she will not be tried with the men.
I filed a motion to sever her case from the other two defendants on the basis she was just charged with one count of obstruction of justice, and I didn't want that case being tried. My case will be tried after the other two cases are tried.
Triplett is accused of lying to police about the whereabouts of Paris James.
This discovery has prompted prosecutors to further investigate the case, so the defense attorneys for James and Scott have filed a motion provided more time to look into the new evidence provided by the prosecution. The case has not been closed at the time of recording this video, and justice has yet to be granted to the victim's family. They continue to wait, holding on to hope that the legal process will bring the justice Tamisha's loved ones deserve. Tamisha's beautiful and faithful life will forever be cherished by her beloved sons, Jaden Price Wilson, 16-year-old, and Leslie Richardson, 13-year-old, her adoring parents Tyler Price and Stacy Price, three brothers, Tobias Price of Florida, Tyler Price of Nevada, and Torioni Price of Toledo.
You killed my sister. You know you did it. Ain't nobody got to lie on you. You killed my sister. Look at you just sitting right there looking guilty as, because he's guilty, y'all. Look at his face. Look at his face, y'all. Look how guilty he is.
On the 11th of October 2023, a pregnant young mother getting groceries out of the trunk in her parents' driveway was shot multiple times in front of her parents' home in DeKalb County, Georgia. This fatal crime was witnessed by her 8-year-old son, who was also outside the home. 31-year-old Rayisha Heard was murdered by her ex-boyfriend and father of her unborn child, Justin Lewis, who was identified by witness reports and evidence from a doorbell camera. After the murder, he continued posting on social media and engaging with posts from her family members as if nothing happened. This is the story of Rayisha Heard, a mother to two amazing boys whose life was taken in the most unjustified way possible. Before we get into our story, we would love to extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends for Rayisha Heard. Also, we would like to take this crime case as a close reminder to all of us still living to be careful with who we accept in our lives. This story would take us to DeKalb County, Georgia, where the incident took place. Our story focuses on Rayisha Danielle Heard, also known by her close friends as Rain. She was a loving mother of two who was just 31 years old and had so much more to give to the world. Rayisha was a woman with a big heart. Everyone who knew her could see how much she loved her kids. They were her life, and she would do anything to protect them. She had a good relationship with her parents, especially her dad, and even as an adult, she remained close to him. She would meet a man named Justin Rene Lewis, popularly known as Mad Music Cali as his stage name. He was an aspiring rapper trying to build his career.
Lately I've been focused on my craft. Caught me young Dex the way I'm locked up in my lab. On this road to riches, I just hope I never crash. I know it's hard to make it out.
He was a real hustler. He was always ready to showcase his talents and was slowly becoming popular in the music industry. He was able to promote his music and got the opportunity to meet with some big personalities in the music industry like DJ Khaled and Diddy.
Now take the go.
That was nice, man.
Already. He seemed like a responsible person with a clear plan for the future. When Rayisha met him, she thought he was someone she could trust. What she didn't know was that Justin had a dark past, one that would eventually catch up to her in the worst way. When Justin came into her life, she probably saw him as just another step in her journey, a new chapter that maybe, just maybe, would bring something positive. But Justin wasn't just another guy. He was dangerous, and there were signs of that from the start that perhaps were not considered. You see, Justin had been married before, and the way his first wife, Sydney Dalcour, died was chilling. Sydney, just 25 years old, was shot in a way that looks oddly similar to how Rayisha would later be unalived, as we will look at in this video. On May 18, 2017, Sydney Dalcour was found shot to death in her running car outside a New Orleans apartment complex. Justin was never charged in Sydney's death, and to this day, her death remains unsolved. However, the sister of Sydney, Tracy Dalcour, said when she was interviewed that Sydney was married to Justin for 5 years, and he was really abusive to her. He fought her a lot, he gave her black eyes, and he put her in the hospital. She had to have staples in her head considering the depth of her injuries.
So she was married to Justin for 5 years. He was really abusive to her. He fought her a lot, like he gave her black eyes.
Rayisha didn't know all these details about Justin's past. Or maybe she did and chose to take it lightly, but she would soon learn how violent he could be. Rayisha found out she was pregnant. While this news would bring joy to most people, Justin didn't feel the same way. He didn't want the baby, and he made that very clear. In fact, he started threatening her, trying to pressure her into getting rid of the baby. The situation escalated so much that a few months before killing her, he even tried to shoot her. The only reason she wasn't shot that day was that the gun's clip fell out. Justin even admitted that he told her to her face that he couldn't shoot her because the clip fell off. Can you imagine how terrifying that must have been? Knowing that the person you're in a relationship with, someone you've shared your life with, is actually trying to take your life. Rayisha didn't go to the police with this information because she was pregnant with Justin's child. Maybe she thought it would get better, or maybe she didn't want to cause more trouble. She stayed quiet. Unfortunately, this would empower Justin to make his next attempt on her life. On October 11th, 2023, Rayisha was outside her parents' house with her 8-year-old child. That day, she wanted to have dinner with her parents, so she had gone to buy groceries to make a meal. Rayisha and her son were unloading groceries together when Justin showed up. Without hesitation, Justin shot her 5 times right in front of her child and fled the scene. She was shot twice in the back, once in the chest, leg, and her head.
A DeKalb County family still reeling after someone shot and killed a young mother in the family driveway. It happened on Kelly Chapel Road. Rayisha Heard's family tells Fox 5 her 8-year-old son watched it happen.
Luckily for their family, the entire attack was caught on a Ring doorbell camera. It is horrifying to think that a human is capable of such pure cruelty without considering his actions and how they could affect others. Now, You would think someone who just murdered the mother of his child would be caught immediately, right? But no, Justin wasn't arrested right away. For 10 days, this man roamed free. He was on the run, using social media to taunt Rayisha's grieving family, making posts and going live saying he was being framed.
This is a girl I used to mess with, you feel me? Like, so, I don't know what to say about that. I feel like if they people felt like this, they spreading the rumors through the internet.
In a live video, he called Rayisha someone he used to mess with and accused her family of spreading rumors about him being the culprit responsible for her passing.
Crazy how everybody try to bring you down when they really don't even know what's going on.
So the girl who got killed, that wasn't even your baby mama?
Nah. The one from now, like the one that they saying, it could have been a possibility, you feel me?
So that was your current girlfriend?
I ain't got no girlfriend at all. You feel me? Only thing is my wife. That's the only girl, you feel me, that ever, my wife.
Furthermore, the rapper claimed there was only a possibility that he could be the father of Heard's unborn child. Imagine the horror of losing a loved one and then seeing her killer openly mocking your pain online. Justin didn't seem to care about what he had done. It seemed like he only engaged the case online because of the attention it was getting, just so that he could benefit from its fame. Rayisha's niece said that she actually posted that he was wanted and that the police were going to find him, and Justin liked the post. He found joy in aggravating the family, and he wanted to show them that there was nothing that they could do to him. Rayisha's family was shattered. After 10 days of liberty, Justin was apprehended. He was located in Forest Park and taken into custody on the 19th of October, according to online jail records. He was booked into DeKalb Jail, where he currently remains without bail. Rayisha's family related that Lewis's arrest had provided them with a sense of safety and peace.
The family of a pregnant mother killed in her parents' driveway says they're relieved that police have made an arrest now. They say that while the suspect was on the run, he was posting on social media and even responding to their posts. Channel 2's Tom Jones live at DeKalb County, where the family says this isn't the first time they've lost a loved one to gun violence.
They mentioned that they all slept well. Rayisha's sister expressed that no one felt secure while Lewis was at large, stating her relief that Justin had been captured and emphasizing their desire for no other family to go through a similar experience.
I'm just happy that Justin is captured because we don't want anybody else to experience this. No other family.
The family revealed that Rayisha had ended their relationship with Justin due to his abusive behavior, stating that he had mistreated her for years.
This is a person who has mistreated her for years.
Although he was apprehended, the damage was done. Rayisha was gone, her kids had lost their mother, her family was left to pick up the pieces, trying to make sense of a loss that should never have happened. Rayisha had been a rock for her family during the tough time, always being there to support them, and now she is gone too. We cannot begin to fathom the amount of emotional damage this dear family would be going through. It's hard to understand how someone can walk into your life, seem like they belong there, and then turn into your worst nightmare. Rayisha probably never imagined that her decision to be with Justin would lead to this tragic end. He had appeared to her as a responsible man, but he changed in the course of the relationship. She had been abused by him, threatened by him, but because of her unborn child, she might have thought that things would get better, or that he would change. But to Justin, she wasn't someone he wanted to be with, let alone start a family with. Rather than allow her to keep the child like she wanted, he thought that he would take matters into his own hands and terminate the pregnancy along with Rayisha's life. And while there is no justification for his cruel actions, we can assume that perhaps he was heavily influenced by hard drugs and other intoxicants. According to research, homicide is the leading cause of death for pregnant women in the United States, rather than other illnesses. Women in the United States are more likely to be murdered during pregnancy or shortly after giving birth from the 3 leading illnesses: high blood pressure disorders, hemorrhage, or sepsis. Rayisha's murder didn't just affect those who knew her. It touched everyone who heard the story. It was a harsh reminder that people can hide their true selves for a long time, and sometimes we only see the real danger when it's too late. Rayisha wasn't the only one who loved Justin. His 80,000 fans on Instagram probably thought that he was a humble upcoming rapper, but he ruined his life by committing this crime. A very heartbreaking fact is that Rayisha's story is not unique. So many women face similar situations every day. Rayisha's story serves as a warning, a call to anyone who might be in a similar situation. If someone is threatening you, if someone is showing signs of violence, don't ignore it. Reach out for help. She leaves behind her friends and family who remember her for her warm, beautiful smile and character. And even more painful, she leaves behind 2 beautiful little boys who have to grow up without a mother. Witnessing the death of a mother can leave deep emotional scars on children, impacting their mental health and overall well-being. Such trauma can lead to feelings of confusion, anger, and helplessness, often manifesting as anxiety or depression. Children may struggle to process their grief, leading to changes in behavior, school performance, and relationships with peers. They might feel isolated, thinking no one can understand their pain, which can further exacerbate their feelings of loneliness and despair. Hopefully, Rayisha's children get all of the help and attention required to pass through this trying stage of their lives. Some netizens believe that part of the blame for this crime lies with law enforcement. The family of Sydney strongly believed that Justin was responsible for her death.
But we really felt like they dropped the ball. They would have paid more attention to her case. This young lady at Georgia would have never lost her life.
And they tried to get justice, but because there was no evidence, Justin was set free. Thankfully, there was the doorbell camera in Rayisha's case. But if that was not available, Justin would have denied his involvement in this crime and would not have been convicted. If the case from years ago had been taken seriously, he would not have murdered or even met Rayisha. What are your thoughts on this? Regarding homicide laws, Georgia classifies homicides into several categories: murder, voluntary manslaughter, and involuntary manslaughter. Murder is the unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought and carries a sentence of 1 to 30 years, or life imprisonment. Voluntary manslaughter, often considered a crime of passion, can lead to 1 to 20 years in prison, while involuntary manslaughter results from unintentional killing and may incur 1 to 10 years. This means that Justin may get to only spend 1 to 30 years in prison, depending on what the judge classifies this murder as. Currently, he has not yet been to trial, but he is not a free man. A GoFundMe campaign was launched by the family of Rayisha to support with funeral expenses, taking care of her children as well, and getting them access to proper mental health. Rayisha Heard's life was full of love, full of potential, and full of hope. She deserved better, and so does every woman facing similar circumstances. Rayisha didn't get the chance to escape the cycle of abuse, but her story might just help someone else find the strength to leave before it's too late.
Charlotte 911, do you need police, fire, or medic?
I need police. Somebody just been out of my house. I came home and I had a woman in my house, and I pulled out my gun and I shot, and she's not moving.
How old is she?
I have no idea. I don't even know the woman. She's inside my house in the hallway on the floor.
Is she flat on her back?
No, she's on her stomach. I can try to move her on her back. My husband told me don't touch her. Oh God, what did I do?
On the morning of July 18, 2023, a married woman was stunned to find 25-year-old Tyra in bed with her 50-year-old husband. The sight was shocking, and her heart sank as she realized the betrayal happening in her own home. Tyra, the young woman caught in the act, insisted that she had simply been invited over and had no idea the man was married. Even Tyra's mother backed up this claim in a video.
Lured to a home and brutally beaten and murdered. She was invited there. She did not just pop up there. She was not an intruder. She was invited there.
However, the married woman was not interested in their excuses. What she did to Tyra at that moment marked a dramatic turning point in Tyra's life, forever. For you to truly grasp the dynamics of this crime story, it's essential to explore the backgrounds of the individuals involved, leading up to the moment their lives intersected. Tyra Crosby was born on August 28, 1997, making her 25 years old at the time of this shocking incident. She lived in Northwest Charlotte, North Carolina with her mother, Tanya Hoskins. Known for her infectious spirit and a heart full of dreams, Tyra was a bright light in the lives of those around her. Family and friends recalled her as lively and outgoing, always eager to embrace new experiences and make connections. However, little did she know that this same outgoing personality would unknowingly lead her into a complicated situation with a married man, setting the stage for a tragic and deadly outcome that would forever change her life. Despite her warm heart and dreams, Tyra faced personal struggles that led to several encounters with law enforcement. Her mother, Tanya, was a protective figure who often worried about Tyra's choices, particularly regarding the people she surrounded herself with. This concern foreshadowed the challenges Tyra would face as she navigated her life. Her legal troubles began in 2018 with charges of simple battery and assault. More serious charges followed in 2021, including assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and discharging a firearm into an occupied property. This troubling pattern continued into 2022 and March 2023, involving charges for simple assault and communicating threats, revealing the tumultuous path her life had taken, overshadowing her vibrant spirit and hopes for a better future. Those closest to Tyra emphasized that she had been actively working to turn her life around despite her struggles, and maintained her caring and compassionate nature throughout her challenges. Like many girls her age, Tyra was searching for a stable relationship. However, due to her troubling past, she struggled to find someone who would accept her, even as she mingled with people of various backgrounds. This led her to navigate a single life and make personal decisions that often took her down the wrong paths. Despite these challenges, her resilience ultimately paid off when she met a man who completely transformed her life. Although this young man was not destined to save Tyra on that tragic day, he perfectly matched what she had been seeking, and they shared many wonderful moments together.
Who's the better cook? Who said I love you first? Who takes longer to get ready in the morning? Who's the grumpier one in the morning? Who's more stubborn? Who's the bigger baby when sick? Who's the social butterfly? Who's the messy one? Who works out more? Who requires more attention?
Tyra frequently posted about their happy times on her social media, celebrating their connection. However, just when things seemed to be going smoothly, Tyra encountered another man. They connected rapidly, but she remained blissfully unaware of the troubling secrets he held that would soon unravel her life. 50-year-old Albert Alexander had spent many years married to 51-year-old Stephanie Alexander in their home in Charlotte, North Carolina. Stephanie, who had 5 children from a previous relationship, was starting anew, and Albert took on the role of a loving stepfather, fully embracing her family. However, beneath this outward appearance of devotion, there were troubling aspects of Albert's character. He had a history of questionable choices and impulsive behavior that raised concerns among those who knew him. Over the years, whispers of infidelity and a lack of emotional stability lingered in the background, hinting at a deeper darkness that could eventually contribute to the tragic events that were to unfold. Yet, despite his outward dedication and apparent loyalty, Albert's actions one fateful night would expose a hidden side that contradicted everything he seemed to represent in his marriage. On the night of July 17, 2023, Tyra, an avid lover of the outdoors, decided to break free from her usual routine and visit a local club. Just before leaving, she reached out to her close friend, expressing her excitement about the possibility of meeting someone new. Enjoying her own company, she bought a few drinks and was having a lively time, blissfully unaware that her night would soon take a shocking turn. It was here that she encountered the man who could either be her ticket to unforgettable fun or the catalyst for a life-altering disaster. This man, 50-year-old Albert Alexander, was also at the club alone, seeking his own escape. Their connection was immediate as they shared drinks, danced, and talked for a long time. However, beneath the surface, there were warning signs of trouble, hinting at a fate neither of them could predict. Albert's wife, Stephanie, being mother of 5 who worked various shifts to support her family. He was fully aware of her schedule, knowing exactly when she would leave for work and when she would return home. This knowledge gave him a sense of freedom that he would misuse. So, in the middle of the night at the club, he invited Tyra back to his house, confident that he had the time to pursue this new connection. Unbeknownst to Tyra, Albert was married and living with his wife, 51-year-old Stephanie Alexander, who happened to be away at that moment, leaving him with a deceptive sense of safety for his actions. At this moment, it's hard to say whether Tyra's choice was influenced by the drinks she had consumed or the conversations they shared earlier in the night. She made the decision to go to Albert's home, completely unaware of his marital status and the potential consequences. What seemed like a simple invitation would tragically lead to a dangerous situation. Later that evening, Tyra arrived at the Alexander residence, where she and Albert picked up the chemistry from the club, laughing and enjoying each other's company. As the night unfolded, they eventually made their way into the bedroom, blissfully ignorant of the storm that was about to erupt. However, the night took a horrifying turn when Stephanie unexpectedly returned home around 5 a.m. on July 18, 2023. As she burst through the door, she was met with the shocking and devastating sight of Tyra in her bed with her husband. Consumed by a surge of rage and a sense of betrayal, Stephanie allegedly lunged at Tyra, seizing her and preparing her for a nightmare of unimaginable amount. In a frantic bid for help, Tyra attempted to call her mom during the assault, hoping for a savior. Unfortunately, the call went straight to voicemail, leaving a chilling audio recording of her final moments. The voicemail captured the harrowing sounds of Tyra's brutal attack, filled with cries for help and chaos. Before the unthinkable happened, she was shot and killed, sealing a tragic fate that no one could have foreseen. A voicemail message later found by investigators was never made public, but it suggested that Tyra went through a horrifying ordeal filled with assault and suffering before being shot. At 5:21 a.m., Stephanie, clearly shaken, reported to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department that she had shot a woman in her bedroom. When the officers arrived at the Alexander home, Stephanie guided them to where Tyra's body lay. The scene was heart-wrenching. Tyra was found lifeless on the floor, her body showing clear signs of torture and multiple gunshot wounds, leaving the officers shocked and troubled by the tragic events that had unfolded in what should have been a safe environment. The officers wasted no time in taking Stephanie to their headquarters for questioning, identifying her as the primary suspect in the case. They also spoke with her husband Albert Alexander, who provided his account of what happened that night. After conducting these interviews, authorities charged Stephanie with voluntary manslaughter. She was processed at the Mecklenburg County Jail on Tuesday, July 18th at about 6 a.m. Surprisingly, despite the serious charges, Stephanie was released later that day at 2 p.m. after posting a $250,000 bond. Meanwhile, her husband Albert did not face any charges, even though many believed his actions had triggered the tragic series of events, sparking a debate about fairness and justice in this heartbreaking situation. Tyra Crosby's family, particularly her mother, Tanya Hoskins, was profoundly upset by the events leading to her daughter's death.
Right now, she's charged with the lowest form of murder. I want it up to first-degree murder.
Tanya provided the voicemail evidence to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, CMFDD, and urged them to rethink and elevate the charges against Stephanie Alexander. She was convinced that her daughter had been deliberately killed and insisted that the case should be classified as first-degree murder instead of voluntary manslaughter. Tanya passionately emphasized that Tyra was not an intruder in the Alexander home, as she had been welcomed inside by Stephanie's husband, Albert Alexander. In her view, this fact completely invalidated any claims of self-defense that might be made.
She even said to the 911 caller that there was an intruder. Your husband brought her there. You knew she wasn't an intruder at that time, at that point of time. He knew that him and his wife shared that home together. My daughter was innocent in it. I did see hours before she was led to the house, she was in a sweepstakes with him. We could see it on camera, which was the last video that I saw of her alive.
Hoskins says what happened that night was heartless and a senseless act that robbed her daughter of a future. And Hoskins' demand is clear.
Justice looks like for me is that she would get the time that she deserves for murdering my child.
She felt that the circumstances pointed to a chilling, premeditated act rather than a spontaneous reaction. On the morning of July 18, Tyra desperately tried to reach out to her mother for help during the assault, which led Tanya to believe that the entire situation was a carefully planned trap. In the beginning, there were whispers suggesting that Tyra had broken into the house, fueled by her prior legal issues. However, further investigation quickly disproved that claim, revealing that Tyra's visit was not a criminal act at all. Tanya was convinced that her daughter had been lured under false pretenses, which propelled her to tirelessly seek justice following such a devastating loss.
A mother speaking out after a woman shot and killed her daughter in a Northwest Charlotte home last year. Tyra Crosby was 25 years old at the time of her death. The woman charged in her death will face a judge tomorrow. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre shares more from the grieving mother.
Tanya Hoskins tells me her world was shattered after learning of the death of her daughter. And as she prepares to face the person accused of ending her life, Hoskins says she just wants the woman held accountable. A vibrant life full of promise tragically cut short.
Just was so outgoing, so spontaneous, such a beautiful soul.
The weight of the grief heavy for Tanya Hoskins as she prepares to face the woman accused of killing her daughter, 25-year-old Tyra Crosby, in a courtroom Thursday.
And my body is literally drained to have to go in and face murderers, to actually see her, to see who took my child's life.
After careful consideration of the voicemail evidence provided by Tyra's mother, Tanya Hoskins, on August 3, 2023, the Mecklenburg County Grand Jury indicted Stephanie Alexander for the second-degree murder of Tyra Crosby. However, several questions linger regarding the nature of Tyra's relationship with Albert Alexander, Stephanie's husband. How long had Tyra known him? Did she have any knowledge of his marriage? These uncertainties create a cloud of intrigue around the case, leaving many to wonder about the deeper connections that led to such a heartbreaking outcome. In honor of Tyra, a vigil took place on Sunday, July 23, 2023, at a local park in Charlotte, NC. Friends, family, and community members came together, lighting candles that flickered softly in the evening light, paying tribute to a life that was tragically ended too soon. As they gathered, attendees reminisced about Tyra's infectious laughter, her kindness, and her steadfast loyalty to those she loved.
Coming together to remember 25-year-old Tyra Crosby. She was killed earlier this week in Charlotte. During tonight's candlelight vigil, there were hugs, tears, and memories were shared.
I love you, best friend. Everybody know Tyra, that's my twin.
She was beautiful. Her soul, her spirit, inside and out.
She gonna be our angel on our shoulder.
She always knew what to say, but I am so grateful that whatever God sent her to do, she, accomplished that mission.
Deeply moved by the violence that took her life, Tyra's mother, Tanya Hoskins, addressed the crowd, her voice filled with emotion. She made a commitment to fight relentlessly for justice, promising that her daughter Tyra's death would not be in vain, and that she would seek to honor Tyra's memory in every way possible. Tanya Hoskins spoke with deep passion about her daughter Tyra's dreams and the vibrant life that was taken from her too soon, expressing the immense loss her family now faces. Those who attended the vigil offered prayers and heartfelt support, standing in solidarity with Tanya as she continues her quest for answers and accountability. Tyra Chanel Crosby, who was only 25 years old, was laid to rest on July 24th at the Greater Temple Baptist Church in Charlotte, NC, where loved ones gathered to honor her memory and celebrate the life she lived. Stephanie Alexander faced trial for second-degree murder, a charge that was far more serious than voluntary manslaughter, which typically carried lighter penalties. The decision to elevate the charge indicated the prosecution's belief that while Stephanie's actions may not have been planned in advance, they exhibited a shocking disregard for human life. This stance highlighted the severity of the situation and the impact of her choices that led to Tyra's tragic death. On December 5, 2024, she was sentenced to 60 to 84 months in prison, reflecting the legal system's acknowledgement of the gravity of her actions and the loss suffered by Tyra's family. Tanya Hoskins took to social media, sharing her daughter's story to raise awareness and encourage others to speak out against violence. She emphasized the importance of community support in preventing such tragedies and urged people to pay attention to the signs around them. Through her advocacy, Tanya aimed not only to honor Tyra's memory, but also to create a safer environment for future generations, ensuring that her daughter's life served as a catalyst for positive change in the community. In the end, it seems that the unfaithful husband escapes accountability, while the consequences are borne by others. We can only hope that Tyra Crosby receives the justice she truly deserves. What are your thoughts? How much responsibility should fall on Stephanie Alexander for her reaction? Do you believe her actions were planned in advance or more impulsive? Additionally, how critical do you think Stephanie's husband was in escalating this tragic situation? We invite you to share your views in the comments.
Thank you. Congrats. Thank you. Congratulations.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Yes, someone's dead. She got shot.
She got shot in the head?
Yes, with bullets.
On the morning of November 18, 2024, a peaceful neighborhood in Ohio was shattered by the sound of gunfire. A chilling 911 call led police to a gruesome discovery: a woman's lifeless body lying in her own yard. The victim was 33-year-old Lacresia Black, whose life was cut short by a woman she was married to for over 5 years. Nobody, including the police, could have imagined the dark truth of what happened between them. The police were left with haunting questions about what led to this horrifying act. But it wasn't long until the chilling truth would emerge. This is the heartbreaking case of Lacresia Black. Before we begin, we would like to extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Lacresia, as well as everyone affected by this tragedy. Lacresia's story starts in Springfield Township, Ohio, a quiet suburban town that was generally peaceful and the crime was rare. But this peace would be shaken by the brutal scene that would fall upon Lacresia. Lacresia was born on August 31, 1991 in Cincinnati, Ohio. While details about her early life and family background were not publicly disclosed, one thing was certain: she was someone who was deeply loved by those around her. She was also known for her ability to bring people together, whether through her humor, kindness, or unwavering support for those she cared about. With that, Lacresia was able to build strong connections with anyone she meets, whether friends, colleagues, or family. Lacresia was someone to leave a lasting impact through her kindness and resilience. As a 33-year-old woman, Lacresia had a whole life ahead of her. She was passionate about making the most of every opportunity, always looking forward to what was next. And so filled with dreams, she was a hardworking woman. In 2017, she worked at an airport where she was known for her warm and welcoming personality. But all of this would change when she met a woman who would alter her fate forever. In 2019, Lacresia started to form a relationship with the 42-year-old Tyra Denise Brown. At first, Tyra appeared to be someone stable, someone with life experience, maturity, and the potential to build a future with Lacresia. And Tyra was not without her past. She had 3 beautiful children from a previous relationship that ended. Tyra's children, Kevon, Mumu, and Elijah, were aged 23, 21, and 8, and she often portrayed herself as a devoted mother to these children who prioritized her family above all else. Tyra would frequently share posts about her kids, expressing how much they meant to her, and appeared to be loving. For others, being with a single mother would have been a problem, but for Lacresia, it was a sign of responsibility and commitment. She believed that Tyra's experience as a mother made her a dependable and caring partner, and so she fell in love. As their relationship grew, they spent more time together, blending their lives and attending family gatherings. Lacresia embraced Tyra's children as her own, forming bonds that made their family seem whole. Lacresia blended into Tyra's family with no problem, as she lived her life with them. This would often be seen in social media, especially Facebook, where they both shared moments of joy, parties, vacations, and celebrations. They were inseparable. What they had was a depiction of a promising love story. On December 3, 2023, after nearly 4 years of being together, Lacresia and Tyra officially tied the knot and got married.
In name, one in aim. In one we trust and happy destiny. Congratulations, you can now kiss your partner.
Thank you. Congrats. Thank you. Congratulations.
They even got matching tattoos that read "Till Death Do Us Part," symbolizing what was meant to be a lifelong commitment. But what was meant to be beautiful became a dark omen. Behind the cameras and social media posts were constant arguments that the couple would have. With this, their relationship was hallmarked by breakups and reconciliation. Their love story was one of highs and lows, moments of deep affection followed by intense disputes. Despite the turmoil, they continued their relationship, believing that things would eventually get better. But as the months passed, their relationship would go into a turn that would eventually lead to a tragedy. And so, after 5 years, Lacresia decided to finally leave her relationship with Tyra. But this was something that Tyra would not take lightly. She held on tightly, unwilling to accept this sudden change. To her, losing Lacresia meant losing control, and that was something she refused to allow. But after 5 years of being together, Lacresia was done. And since Tyra cannot hold on to Lacresia for much longer, she will make a tragic decision that will leave both their families devastated. On November 18, 2023, the shocking turn of events would unfold. It was a supposed peaceful morning at 2179 Lincoln Avenue in Springfield Township, Ohio, which was Lacresia's residence, would be shattered by the sound of gunfire, alarming the entire neighborhood. Tyra arrived at Lacresia's residence, consumed by rage and determination. She had driven across town with a purpose, her mind set on one thing. Whatever words were exchanged in those final moments would remain a mystery, but what happened next would change everything. Before Lacresia could even step outside, gunshots rang out, shattering the morning silence. Bullets were shot through the door, which was a violent foreshadowing of the events that would follow. And the moment Lacresia opened the door, Tyra fired again, and this time the bullets hit Lacresia in the head. Betrayed by the woman she once loved, Lacresia fell down her porch. In an instant, the life of a woman so full of love and resilience was stolen away, leaving behind nothing but devastation. The entire commotion startled the neighbors. As they rushed to their windows, they witnessed the horrifying scene. Lacresia lay motionless outside her home, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. This was when the harrowing 911 call was made by a man who was with Lacresia that morning.
The first shot was when the door was closed. The second shot was when the door was open and the shot been made and she fell down to the ground.
Is there children there?
Yes, there's 2.
Where's the other one? There should have been 3. They were just out there.
So one is at school, the other one is upstairs.
When the police arrived at the scene, they found the unresponsive Lacresia, her life gone before the paramedics could even intervene. Right then and there, she was pronounced dead on site, leaving family, friends, and neighbors in shock.
Following some breaking news not related to traffic here this morning.
Yeah, so we're following this out of Springfield Township after we got reports of a woman who had been found after being shot, or I should say she was found with a gunshot wound. Our Taylor Davis live on the scene with what we know. Taylor, I know that you're just kind of now getting on the scene a few minutes ago, but what have you learned?
Well, we just learned from police here minutes ago that this unfortunately is a fatal event. Now, I want you guys to take a look because this is a very active scene right now. You can see where officers are here canvassing the area. You also see where they have this yellow caution tape blocking the entrance and blocking that area where they are doing their investigation at this time. So we're kind of seeing them walking in and out of one of those buildings there that they have blocked off. Now, what we learned here from Springfield Township Police is that one woman is dead after a gunshot wound to the head. Now, police arrived here just after 7 a.m. Now, this is at a housing complex here on Lincoln Avenue. Now, like I said, police are still investigating, so they haven't released anything more about this victim or if they are looking for a suspect at this time. But I did have a chance to speak to a neighbor who said he unfortunately heard the shots fired here when they happened. Now, us just standing here, it seems like such a very, very quiet neighborhood. So to that neighbor, this was shocking that this happened. But like I said,
at this point, the police had yet to confirm the identity of the shooter. But whispers of suspicion had already begun to spread. Some had seen a familiar car fleeing the scene, while others stood frozen, unable to process the horror that had just occurred.
Radio traffic between dispatchers and police made it sound as if they knew of the suspect and victim before the incident this morning. It sounds like they both knew each other. I spoke with a neighbor who says she's lived in this condo complex since 2017 and never witnessed anything like this.
All my neighbors were just peaceful. Everybody, nobody argues or anything. So like it's just shocking because nothing happen over here. Nothing. So it's crazy.
As investigators worked to piece together the events of that morning, one name kept surfacing, and soon Tyra Brown became the focus of a statewide manhunt. Meanwhile, Tyra had already fled the crime scene, crossing to another state. She escaped in a dark-colored 2014 Chevrolet Cruze, leaving behind the devastation she had caused. The vehicle she drove away with, which had been a familiar sight in Lacresia's driveway, was now a key piece of evidence in a homicide investigation. But the series of tragic events would not end with the death of Lacresia, because another tragedy was about to occur. As the news of the shooting spread, law enforcement launched a statewide search, determined to track her down before more tragedy could unfold. For officers, the urgency was clear. This was a woman on the run, unpredictable and armed. If she had already taken one life, there was no telling what she might do next. What the police did not know was it was only the beginning. Just 2 hours after the brutal crime at Springfield Township, the Indiana State Police spotted Tyra on Interstate 65 in Clinton County, Indiana, and when they attempted to pull her over, Tyra refused to stop. And what came after was the high-speed pursuit of the prime suspect. But it wasn't long until the chase would come to a devastating end. After over an hour of chase, Tyra would finally make her stop at the Amoco gas station near State Route 28, where the deadly conclusion would take place. As officers surrounded the gas station, the tension grew. Tyra, however, never stepped out of the dark-colored Chevrolet Cruze that had carried her across state lines. As the law enforcement tried to contain the situation, they moved cautiously, hoping for Tyra to surrender peacefully. But no movement was made inside the vehicle, until a gunshot rang out from inside the car. In just an instant, the situation escalated. With the officers uncertain of what Tyra would do next, they responded with multiple guns fired. The number of shots fired was still uncertain, but luckily no officer was hurt during the commotion. And when the chaos finally settled, the officers approached the vehicle to inspect Tyra. As they peered inside, the truth became clear. What they found was her motionless body in the driver's seat and the gun that was responsible for the fate of 2 people. Before the paramedics could even arrive, the officers were already certain of the fate of Tyra.
An early morning shooting in Springfield Township, leaving a person dead.
Now, we've been following this case closely and just got an update from officers.
Ken Brown has been working this story. Ken, what do you have?
Yeah, and we mean just got an update. We mean just got an update within the last 5 minutes. At this point, we got the 911 call in. We do want to get you the information that police were able to get us. Take a look at video from the scene earlier today. Springfield Township police say just after 7 a.m., they got a call for a person shot at an apartment complex along Lincoln Avenue. Officers found 33-year-old Lacresia Black shot and lying outside the front door of her apartment. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say they believe the person who was behind the trigger to be 42-year-old Tyra Brown, who they say drove off to Clinton County, Indiana, where she allegedly got into a police chase with Indiana State Police. At the end of that chase, police say a gunshot was fired from inside Brown's vehicle, then troopers would open fire. Tyra Brown was killed in that gunfire. So, a lot of questions still to ask here. Was that shot directed at officers? What exactly transpired after that chase ended? We're going to continue to ask those questions, continue to gather information, and bring you the very latest.
It remained unclear whether she had fired at the officers or she did the deed of taking her own life before they returned the fire. She was pronounced dead on the scene, just like Lacresia, who also lay dead 150 miles away. And with that, the pursuit had ended. But the devastation it left behind was irreversible. In just a span of hours, 2 lives were lost, one to a senseless act of violence, the other to a desperate attempt to escape its consequences.
So neighbors say they heard gunshots ring out just before 7 o'clock this morning. And since then, what transpired over the next few hours actually crossed state lines and have left the community shaken.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Yes, someone's dead.
Springfield Township police officers called to a home on Lincoln Avenue after reports of a shooting. The victim, 33-year-old Lacresia Black, was found dead outside the front door of her home.
She got shot.
She got shot in the head?
Yes, with bullets.
Police identified the suspect as 42-year-old Tyra Brown, saying she fled the scene before officers got there. A broadcast went out to try and locate her.
Subject went in for questioning in a homicide that occurred in Springfield Township.
That's when troopers found her more than 150 miles away in Clinton County, Indiana. Brown led Indiana State Police on a chase. When the pursuit ended at a gas station, a shot was fired inside Brown's car, followed by shots fired by troopers on scene. Brown died at the scene.
We had people from here, from Clinton County, Tippecanoe County, Boone County, so agencies from all around came to assist with this, and we appreciate their quick response to assist our officers. That can sometimes be in an area that not a lot of other agencies are around, so we appreciate all the assistance from the surrounding agencies.
No troopers were injured. Meanwhile, neighbors in Springfield Township are left shaken by the news.
Shocked, surprised. It don't happen up here.
And now grieving this sudden loss and the horrific events that followed. Now, police have not said how the victim or the suspect knew each other, but they are asking anyone with information on either incident here in Ohio or in Indiana to come forward.
As investigators pieced together the events of that morning, their focus shifted beyond just the crime scenes. Looking through everything, they eventually found the relationship between Lacresia and Tyra, shedding light on the reason for this tragedy. Witnesses were interviewed, friends and family were questioned, and past incidents between Lacresia and Tyra were carefully examined. And with every piece of evidence that came, a clearer picture began to emerge.
They knocked on the door and told me that it was a bullet hole in my window.
A traumatizing Monday morning. Linda Sales says she looked outside of her Springfield Township apartment to see police officers and crime tape, then realized someone shot and killed her neighbor, Lacresia Black, just feet from her door, and one of those bullets hit her back window.
It's so blessed and lucky that I was sleeping, that I was in the back. I'm so thankful that my grandkids wasn't here, because that's the area where they play, eat, and spend their time.
Minutes earlier.
911, do you have an emergency?
Yes, someone's dead.
A 911 call from a man who was with Black.
Who is this person to you? A friend?
She's like a caretaker to me.
At the time, the man who called wasn't sure who shot her.
Okay, do you know of her? Like, have you seen her before, or was she just a stranger?
I saw her a couple times.
We found out through Hamilton County court records, Lacresia Black and the suspect, 42-year-old Tyra Brown, were married. One friend of Black described their relationship to WCPO 9 News as on again, off again, and the two would fight often. About 2.5 hours later, after the fatal shooting in Springfield Township, another shooting, this time between Brown and Indiana State Police on I-65 in Clinton County. ISP said troopers tried to stop Brown on the interstate, but said she never stopped, and during the chase, fired at troopers from her car. Troopers shot back at her. SWAT was also called and discovered Brown dead in her car. Indiana State Police said they recovered a gun from Brown's car, but they didn't make it clear if she died from shots by state troopers.
The turbulence in their relationship, the struggles behind closed doors, and the emotional weight both women carried had all been leading up to this moment. Back in Springfield Township grief, friends and family of both women struggled to make sense of what had happened. The community that was once peaceful and quiet is now bearing the tragedy that unfolded in a matter of hours. In the days that followed, another detail would emerge, one that would allow the authorities to grasp the dark reality behind the tragedy. But it wasn't just Lacresia's family and friends that were left reeling and devastated. On social media, Tyra's daughter, Mumu, also expressed her grief, while ultimately defending her beloved mother. She wrote on Facebook, "I'm trying so hard not to break down and give in to the internet when it comes to defending my mama, Tyra Brown. So many outsiders are twisting the story to fit their own selfish narrative, but nobody knows the real truth. I'm still waiting for her to call me, y'all. If you're against me or speaking negatively, remove me right now." On November 20, 2024, Balloon releases were done by the two families as a symbol of commemorating the memories of both women. And on November 30, 2024, the two families prepared to lay their loved ones to rest. Funeral services were held for both Lacresia Black and Tyra Brown, each surrounded by grieving relatives and friends, trying to come to terms with the heartbreaking reality of what had happened. Lacresia and Tyra's story serves as a reminder that love should never feel like a trap, and leaving should not come at the cost of one's life. But time and time again, cases like this emerge, and we are reminded of the chilling reminders of how dangerous a toxic relationship can become. Lacresia's story is not just a tragedy, it's a warning, one that should never be ignored. Let us know what you think about this case in the comments section below.